I've waited a really long time for a road car to perform like a race car. And this is it. This is the real deal. It's literally the most brutal, fastest road car I've ever driven. I couldn't believe it. In race mode, the car feels just like a race car. The engine is connected straight to the car, so you can really feel the vibrations. You can hear the induction, you can hear everything going on. 800 kilos of downforce. When I arrived at the fast corners, you can only believe how much grip it has in the high speed when you attack the corners fast. But then you come to low speed and the car feels so nimble. She really changes direction really nicely. The steering communicates so much and you really can trust what the car is going to do just on the next corner, on the next moment. The suspension really does a great job of keeping the car nice and flat. The performance from low speed to high speed is very similar, so you can get a nice consistent feel and the confidence as well to attack the corners. And especially on the braking areas, that's where you really hit the brakes and the car just stops like a single seater. It's amazing.
It's the embodiment of challenging all of our teams to go even further.
Having the car called Senna does focus the mind.
It's a great responsibility, but it's something which motivates engineers. These are iconic cars.
Ayrton stood for that kind of obsession with detail, that desire to go fast.
His values and his drive and determination and his quest for excellence influence not only his life but the way we do cars in McLaren.
The opportunity to not only kind of reflect his obsession with detail but actually to add another chapter to the story with the car, that's really driven people to go another step.
His focus, his unwavering determination to go beyond the limit, that in itself then becomes an inspiration. The McLaren Senna to me as an engineer is about taking the levels of engagement as a driver to the highest levels possible. He was utterly focused to be the best that he could be, to achieve the highest levels in his sport. The McLaren Senna bearing his name really resonates to be utterly focused to be the best that it can be.
If you get to drive it, it should feel the way that you think a car should feel that he would like to drive. It should feel alive.
You look at the car, you know what it's there for. It just speaks to you about being on a track, doing the fastest lap time.
How do you do something that not only lives up to the reputation but moves it on? It's a really big responsibility, but actually the way the team have worked, the freedom that we've had to do a car that's based for the track, you know, an environment where Senna was, you know, a real master, the elements have all come together.
There's a famous recording of him saying when you think you've done the most you possibly can, you can reach a little higher, go a little further. That does exemplify our approach to this car. We're pushing boundaries we've not pushed before.
It's the fastest McLaren we've ever done.
It's going to be the most engaging of any car we've done so far.
And every engineer who's worked on it really wants to embody what Senna was, put it into the car and achieve the ultimate iconic sports car, knowing that it's going to go down in history as one of the most special things that we've ever done.
The fact that it's called Senna means it has to be the very best car we ever make.
The McLaren Senna has been designed, engineered and developed with one single purpose in mind, to be the ultimate track car. There's a number of things you can change on the McLaren Senna when getting to a racetrack. Race mode on the Senna lowers the car. You can use that to really get the car very low on ride height. and get as close to a race car as you possibly could get. We've moved the hardware on from the P1 now, so the initial ride height can be a little bit higher, which enables the car to have the best of both worlds. Those slower, bumpier corners, you can have a car that is still very, very responsive. With increased speeds, the compression from the downforce stiffens the springs on the car, so you're very low on the deck, so you get zero roll on the car at those higher speeds. It helps massively with stability going into quick turns on track. As well as that, we have a full active aero on the front and rear of the car, designed to keep the optimal aerodynamic balance throughout a lap. For example, when the car is heavily in pitch in a heavy braking zone, we can bleed off the flaps at the front of the car to decrease the amount of front downforce, enables you to get a nice balanced car at the crucial point into the apex. It's a big task for us to calibrate for all the different circuits, but we're trying to get this car through as many circuits as we possibly can in development, more so than we ever have done before. Not only our proving ground, but also more of a Formula One circuit feel as well. The feel and response when you're into a heavy braking zone is really fantastic, which is crucially important for track driving to shorten those braking zones down. It's a fantastic raw experience on track with this car. There really is nothing that separates it from a race car when you're out there on circuit, in race mode, just you and the dynamics of a very, very stiff, very, very fast car.
Whenever I arrive at the boulevard here at MTC, I see so many important historic race cars. You go in there and you see the red and white cars, and you see always quite a few of Ayrton's cars here. So Ayrton's presence with McLaren is still very much current. I'm Bruno Senna, and I'm a brand ambassador here at McLaren Automotive. It's a sort of a relationship and a partnership that seems to be as strong as ever, because everybody has a story here. Everybody seems to be here since Ayrton was here, and it's fun to see the stories, but also every time someone new comes into the boulevard, they come and see Ayrton's cars and they get to learn and to see a few things that they didn't see before. The trophies, quite a few trophies are here, and quite a few of them are Ayrton's as well. And for me to be able to see and feel and touch these things, it's just an experience that brings me even a bit closer to Ayrton. It was great to catch up with Neil Trundle. I know him for many years. The first time I drove a McLaren in 2004, he was there, and every time I see him, he tells me so many stories. I really look forward to every time I'm going to meet him, and also all the guys at the Heritage. Neil Trundle also introduced me to Neil Oatley. Once again, it's just one of those things that you absorb a little bit more of Ayrton every time you meet people that worked with him so closely, especially as Neil did. And what was very, very cool was that he was still in almost as if he was so fresh in his memory. And I think that's one of the marking features of Ayrton, is that the memories he makes with people are so fresh in people's minds, no matter how many years later. It's really amazing to see that Bruce McLaren's daughter is so involved in the whole process, because she not only does ambassadorial work for McLaren, but she's also involved on the future projects. It's great to see that heritage of the McLaren and the Senna names together didn't only stay in the past. Now there is a McLaren Senna road car, which is very much looking into the future. I was here at the conception of the car, and the first time I drove the prototype McLaren Senna, what caught me by surprise was the potential of the car, how much it has to offer above the fast road car standard is nowadays. The car is such an exciting project. Personally, I cannot wait to
education is the key to a better world. My brother, three-time Formula One world champion Ayrton Senna, believed this too. For the past 20 years, we have been carrying out his wishes and taking good quality education to millions of children and young people. I am Viviane Senna, the president of Ayrton Senna Institute. Our mission is to develop a human being as a whole, preparing them for life in the 21st century. We are in 17 Brazilian states and more than 600 cities. We are supporting the training of teachers and help more than 1 million students each year. In 1991, when Ayrton won the Brazilian GP with McLaren, it transformed the country and gave Brazilians a reason to believe in themselves again. McLaren played a big role in Ayrton's success. I was invited to see the new McLaren Senna. It was amazing. I am sure my brother would approve it. Ayrton is still one of Brazil's biggest heroes, and it's important for us to use his legacy and help create a better country for us tomorrow. At the racetrack, Ayrton could do the impossible. At the foundation, we try to do the same.
Senna sempre.
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 Couple of corners by Senna. Hustled his way back into the contention.
And Senna goes through into the lead.
Senna.